Caught him. Nah, whatever. It's the evening this time.
It is. Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, my brother? How you doing, man?
Good. Third Key Podcast, episode 5.
Hey, man, we made it 5 episodes.
Yeah, only
95
2.
more. 95 more. We can get syndication.
There you go.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Third Key Podcast with one of my best friends, Aaron. Wait, hold on, man. Is the music loud, man? I feel like the music's still loud, man. What's wrong with you, man? Come on, man. Get the volume going down. What are we doing?
A little bit.
Yeah, what are we doing? Okay, now look. Shout out to Noveliss, man. Love those records. But welcome to the Third Key Podcast. It's your boy Chris McCloud with one of my best friends right here, Aaron, aka Young Direct. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of Nintendo Direct, that is, and we'll get more into that later. We're gonna talk about a couple things today, man. Since we didn't wait a million years, we're gonna talk about some key acquisitions. About some big companies I'm sure you guys have heard of. We're going to talk about that latest and greatest Nintendo Direct that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously got to talk about that Mortal Kombat trailer, man. Like, we have to talk about that. And we'll talk about the abysmal showing that was BlizzCon. So, Aaron, man, before we kick things off, I mean, what you got going on, man? Anything new? Anything you want to talk about with the people? I know you're an action figure junkie. You want to get some of your shit off, man. Like, what's up, man? I know I curse, but you want to get some of your ish off for the people, man. What's going on, man?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't been doing too much. I was supposed to start God of War and all that fun stuff. I didn't do that.
Yo, before you even start, did you watch Judas? In the Black
I did.
Messiah?
There we go. That's what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I just got to make sure. All right, go ahead. We'll talk about that. All right, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I forgot that I had taken some of these pictures. You're the one that remembered. But yeah.
Where were these pictures taken? Is that right?
Google, huh? Listen, did I say anything to trigger that? All right, whatever.
Hey, man,
Google.
you better turn.
Hey, Google.
From YouTube Music. Playing on home.
She about to play What Does the Fox Say on my whole house. That's like I'm being pranked right now.
Hey, man.
Hey, Google.
Turn the mic off. Hey, man, only on Third Key Podcast Live.
The mic's back on.
Hey, Google.
Hey, your boy is over there playing music live. Hey, man.
Goodness.
Hey, man. You can't make
Wow.
this stuff up. Hey, you can't make this stuff up.
That was ridiculous.
Hey, man.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened to me yet, because I have just had that thing sitting right next to me the whole time. Anyways, I didn't do nothing but build furniture. I bought a bunch of new bedroom furniture, so I haven't been doing too much. I've just been playing Hyrule Warriors, which I enjoy.
Okay.
I don't know. I like it's got a gameplay loop. It's meant to be kind of addictive, and I like running through. It's got a lot of Ocarina of Time references in it and stuff, and I like anything that's Ocarina of Time. So that's been cool. Other than that, I got some new AEW figs, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy. I went and picked up the whole Star Fox crew from that little World of Nintendo line. They're cheap, but I think that these Star Fox ones look nice. I got the Figma, the Japanese company, made a PUBG guy. I had to get it. I played so much PUBG. How am I not going to get the figure for the game I played so much? And I picked up Vicious from Cowboy Bebop, and they re-released this Ava Unit 1 figure that was going for, I don't know, $400 or $500, and then they've said, we made a new version of it. $60. I picked it up. And I also picked up every World of Nintendo Zelda thing that I could find. Because again, it's Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, why not? And I like no comic figures yet, but Into the Spider-Verse, best comic book movie ever.
Had to be cop time.
Had to pick them up. And they look good too.
Was it the best because the soundtrack was so raw?
Man, everything was the
That's,
best about that
that
movie.
soundtrack was raw. Speaking of that, I played Miles Morales on PS5.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and the soundtrack, man.
I
Like
heard
it was just like it was raw, bro. Like it wasn't as raw as Into the Spider Verse.
because they didn't have that licensing power.
Yeah, they didn't have that licensing for Biggie, but it was just like it was hard for me to like want to rock with Peter because Peter's not cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Peter's just not cool at all. Spider Man's cool. Peter's not cool.
I did hear
So
that their that their Miles Morales is not as cool as you
no,
know
no,
the Spider
no,
Verse one.
because he's like a super nerd in Miles Morales, which I'm cool with because it's like obviously we always talk about black people being multifaceted, and this kid's like super smart, scientific, like genius, like Peter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
it's like they have a lot of things in common as far as like their intelligence, and
I think
it
it's another
leads
one of
them to
those things
go
too, where,
for that.
these movie writers are like just a little bit better than like comic book writers, and they kind of made like a better Miles Morales.
I think they just went out of their way to make him more nuanced.
Mhm.
Like like he still rocks Timberlands, and he still rocks. Like he still has like I'm gonna use the air quotes because it's trash. Like the urban look, like you know what I'm saying. Like he's
Mhm.
still hip hop. You know what I mean? So it's like it's still he's still hip hop,
Mhm.
but he's smart. Like being hip hop doesn't mean you have to be a drug dealer or a gangster. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah. Exactly.
you can be all of these things and still be like I want to get straight A's and still understand breakdancing and understand graffiti and understand the fashion. You can still do all of that, man. So
Mhm.
Miles is like really what Spider-Man really should be in 2021, which is why Brian Michael Bendis, who is one of the Marvel goats, which is why I think when he wrote the character as a white male with a Latino child and a black child. I don't know if
Mhm.
people know that he has a black child and a Latino child. That he kind of set that new bar where it's like, look, bro, like I ain't trying to hear nothing about being woke, none of that. My kids are my kids are my kids, and I refuse to make characters that my kids can't look at and see themselves in.
Mhm.
And so he understands.
Yeah.
That's probably a little. It's
That was a
probably a
big
little off
thing, and
topic.
it was such a huge opportunity, and they knocked it out of the park.
Oh
That
my God!
movie
Oh my
rules.
God! Yeah, it is very good, very good.
Anyhow, so yeah, I got that, and I do still have a pre-ordered like it's an $80 figure from GameStop. Luckily, GameStop picked up the exclusive rights to it, and I get to pay $80 for it instead of importing it for $140. But it's
Which
nice.
figure is this?
It's Miles Morales, but he's got the jacket on, he's got the Jordans on, and the Jordans, they can't make them exact Jordans, but
So
they look
So they
basically
can't.
like the exact same sneaker, but without the Nike swoosh on them.
So they couldn't get the licensing for the
Oh,
Nike
oh
shoes.
no, the toys do not get the license.
Hey, they did for the movie,
The
and I
movie,
was so surprised.
yeah, the movie
And
paid for it.
for the game, they got the Adidas
Oh yeah,
license.
but they couldn't get that. They still couldn't get that Nike
Okay, yeah, yeah. Nike wasn't having it.
one
But all right, man. Come on, we always do this. Okay, look, let's get on topic. um, okay, bro. Let's talk about the Nintendo Direct. You are our resident Nintendo fanboy. Um, and everybody loves Nintendo. Has there ever been a company that can do basically anything and basically do things poorly and still be loved universally like Nintendo? Like because I have
There's
my opinions about this direct, and I'm sure you're gonna give yours.
oh
But
yeah, yeah. Well, see, and a lot of people, I think people still set expectations pretty high, and I don't think, I don't know. I keep my expectations low. I've probably been doing that since Wii U. Like my expectations are on the floor. And the way that they do things now is that you're not hearing about the biggest, newest, hottest thing unless it's coming out in 6 months. And not Breath of the Wild 2 is not coming out in 6 months. Metroid Prime 3 is not coming out in 6 months. All the big stuff that they kind of wanted to see. I was just like, none of it's gonna be ready. So whatever we get, to me, I was good with. And they had some stuff for me. And I liked it. So I'll throw this on in the background just as something to have on. But I wrote up a little recap of it. I was watching it live and reacting to all of it. But obviously the first thing they opened up with was Smash. And even Smash, 3 more characters left for the whole game. They've already been, they just had Sephiroth, and I'm like, one of these characters is going to be a Pokemon or another Nintendo character that no one cares about or something. So there you go, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 character, which from what I could find, even Xenoblade fans were not excited about.
I don't care.
Yeah. But I was like, at least it started off looking like a just another sword character, but she can kind of do the old Sheik thing where she can immediately switch to Mithra. Mithra? I don't know. But it doesn't even have a transformation phase. You hit the button and you snap right over to the other character, which I think is kind of neat. So
I'll say this: if she ends up being ludicrously good, then all of a sudden people are gonna talk about how big of fans they are of the series, and I'm saying that because I remember when everybody was playing with what's your boy, man? I'm blanking on his name just because we're talking about it. Your
Marth,
boy
Fire Emblem.
Marth.
Fire
Yes,
Emblem made.
Marth. Yes, and all of a sudden
There's Smash
everybody
made
was like,
Fire Emblem.
"Oh man, a huge Fire Emblem fan." No, no, you're not. No, you weren't. No, you're not. You're lying. But it's okay. I get it because you have to be the cool guy that likes the game that nobody likes, right? That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, Xenoblade already has a pretty big crowd of people who like the game that nobody likes, but they all like the first one and the first one spinoff. I forget what it's called now. Um, and this one got real anime waifu, and I guess it had a lot of those gacha, kind of gambling mechanics to trying to earn and find different sword girls to wield. Kind of weird. And that's what we got here. This is the 2 main sword girls that you capture like Pokemon and wield as the main character. I don't know. That's there you go. Whatever. But some of the smaller stuff, Mario Golf Super Rush, Return of Mario Golf. They had a 3DS game. Nobody was really into it, but hopefully, yeah, they put up Mario Tennis for Switch, and that didn't do too well. I think that this looks a little bit better. They put a story mode in it of some kind, and it's got speed golf where you're literally all hitting the ball at the same time and running down the field to get to your ball, and you can get power-ups that make you run faster or hit people or do other stuff. And I was like, I don't know, that sounds pretty fun. It's taking some new steps for it, so I think that's cool. The HD 2D people that did Octopath Traveler are doing a strategy RPG called Project Triangle. I never was into strategy RPGs, but it looks like a nice, beautiful HD 2D version of Final Fantasy Tactics for PS1, kind of.
Okay.
So it looks cool, but I don't know. I've never been my cup of tea. I don't know why. I just don't have patience or whatever for it, but yeah. And yeah, Fall Guys is coming out. Famicom Detective Club coming out, which was until now Nintendo made visual novel series for their consoles that never came to America. I guess it's cool. I don't know if I'll get it, but this is the kind of stuff they're talking about. Samurai Warriors 5, that's coming out on everything. I guess that's the first time that's been around since 2014. So it's coming back. I don't know why it disappeared for so long, but that's neat, I guess.
So on a lighter note, I want to ask you something.
What?
Do you feel that Eastern game design has regressed?
Mm, I guess it depends on who you're talking about. But I don't know. I don't think it has regressed. I think that they have struggled to keep up. That's how I would, what I'd say.
Uh, so you're saying that they've become stagnant?
Oh, like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Um,
Well,
Great,
see,
but that
that
was
was like
them
a
catching
Western. It
up.
was Western.
Yeah, that was them catching
Yeah,
up to
yeah.
everybody else.
So this is what I mean when I say that. Eastern game design style games, right? So you take a game like Breath of the Wild, that was obviously a Western RPG.
hmm
All right, it was just made by Nintendo, but it was a Western RPG. And then you can go to like we was talking about Ghost of Tsushima, where game designers in Japan were saying that Japan should have made this game. Like, there's no way that Americans should have
hmm
made this game. And yeah, Sucker Punch is American, right?
Oh yeah,
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 American company. Yes, and Sucker Punch is American. So they're like, yo, there's no way Sucker Punch should have made this game before we did.
yeah. Right.
So it's like, do you feel like they've become prisoners of their own pop culture? Like they're not willing to kind of leave that leave that area. Like I was playing Cold Vein. Did you play Cold Vein?
Mm-mm. I remember
And,
hearing about it
and I
though.
was just bored out of my mind.
Yeah. Well, their thing too is that again, I just think that they don't care to keep up with anything. They make what they want to make, and there's certain things that are super popular with them and not with the rest of the world, and they'll just keep making it. And I think we also, kind of idolize and romanticize stuff like old school Japanese samurai movies and stuff like that. Whereas for them, they're like, I don't know, maybe that's not all that cool to them. Like maybe they're not. They want anime girls and gotcha games and stuff like that more. Maybe that's generalizing far too many people from Japan, but um,
No, no, I mean,
I don't
no,
know.
no, but I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Well, like game design over here is about that gritty realism and historical precedent,
hmm
digging into the. Yeah, people want it to be as realistic as possible over here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the games that become like super popular games, like these gritty, realistic games.
Yeah, and we've
To the
had we've
point.
struggled figuring out with what people even like. Really, I think that's what we've been honing in on lately in America, as far as 360 PS3 generation people were just like blatantly struggling to copy anything that was remotely successful, but now it's kind of figured out the formulas. They figured out how you can put certain things in place to get people kind of pumped, and they keep playing the game. Um,
Well, it's weird that we're talking about this because and I guess this stays on subject with the Nintendo Direct, right? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about the difference I see between Sony and Microsoft's approach to games. And I was like, well, Sony seems to be honed in on like this third person story driven like simulator type of game. What open world, like basically doing the Ubisoft except way better than Ubisoft. Like doing the thing that Ubisoft thinks they're doing better than
mhm.
them. Yeah. Which is like, hey, we're gonna do third person action games with the open world that let people play for like 100 hours and that's the game.
Mhm.
And then Microsoft is going more of like this PC style, like PC, like if you go on to Steam, right?
Mhm.
Steam has a lot of great games,
Mhm.
but it has more just good games. If you get what I'm saying, like there's a Steam is full of good games and some great games. So like
Yeah.
if a game comes out on Steam, the likelihood that it's some like blockbuster game of the year style of game
Mhm.
isn't likely. But you'll get like your currently Valheim, right? Has 500,000 people within a week, and it's not necessarily going to make your oh my god, game of the year list, but it's like people like it.
Hmm.
Um, or
Yeah, there's a lot more of that these days. It's like
yeah,
you can find success, um, and it doesn't have to rely upon the reviews. That's the other thing, is that
yeah,
they've learned to bypass the reviews as well.
yeah,
Um,
and it's like certain segments of games that wouldn't get attention.
mhm.
Tactics games, RTS games, um, um, tabletop RPGs,
Right, right.
like things that simulators,
Hmm.
things that PC players like. I just tend to say this about PC players, and I'm saying this specifically because I don't, you don't want to incite console wars or whatever. PC players just tend to be more intelligent gamers. They have a wider range of games they will play and make
Hmm.
popular. They'll still play whatever the big thing is,
Hmm.
but they'll also make some game that makes no business being big a big game
Hmm.
because they'll find the nuance in making that game successful.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense to people, but I'm just like they're not as mainstream driven gamers as console gamers.
Right.
So
But
they're willing to see success in smaller indie games or whatever. I think Valheim got made by like 5 people.
yeah, I mean, and I do think that it's making its way towards um to console as well. It's getting there, but console still is kind of like the news cycle almost drives like what the next big game is. People will just buy what the next big game is because
Yes.
they're talking about it. But
So like marketing and popularity plays more into console games.
mhm,
Where with PC games, the community is like close knit. It's humongous, but it's close knit.
mhm,
So it's like for some reason everybody on PC identifies this game that everybody's gonna play.
right.
Whether it's Discord or whatever the hell they use. For some reason, they all pick a game and they're like, hey yo, this is it. Like remember when Rocket League blew up?
Oh yeah.
Rocket League had no business blowing up,
Mhm.
but it just did.
It was just because it was like fun, and yeah, PC was like, man, this is a cool game. This is a fun game. It's really great. It's got really great online play. And then they were like, let's try to port it to everything in the world, make sure that it's on every platform, um, and support the heck out of it, market it very well. And yeah, I still play that game. I'm probably gonna play that game tonight. Love that game. Um, well, yeah. So, um, I guess on as far as this Nintendo Direct goes, the last big thing was there's that HD 2D stuff, but Skyward Sword HD. Um, I'm cool with it. I'm happy about it. Uh, they came right out and said, "Sorry, we don't have any Breath of the Wild 2 info for you because, of course, they don't. It's not ready. If it's not ready, they're not showing it. Period." I almost gotta think that they're I don't know, that they're putting more into it. I feel like something must have happened during development, and maybe they're maybe they changed a few directions or whatever, and they're doing more for it. But confident that it's going to be amazing whenever we do see it. I think we'll still see it too. It's kind of early in the year, but this is Zelda and Pokemon's 35th anniversary as well. So last year was Mario.
How are we not getting a Zelda collection?
See, that's the thing, is I think that we're still getting one. So, so we're still actually in Mario phase. Like Mario anniversary kind of started around March, and Bowser's Fury and Super Mario 3D World just came out. I think everything got pushed a little bit because of the pandemic, but
All right, pop quiz on the spot. What did the first Zelda game come out on? What system?
what, NES?
No, I don't think it was NES.
Yeah, it was. What are you talking about?
Was it?
Oh,
I
so
wanted.
it is, and that's why it's its 35th anniversary. Sorry, Pokemon is 25 this year.
I think Zelda came out on something else first. I think Legend of Zelda's first released on something else.
It was definitely NES. What else did they have? That was their first system. Mario came out,
Bro,
and then Zelda came out the next year.
Just Google it, bro. I feel like it was some. I feel like it was some super old system the Legend of Zelda came out on first, bro.
What's older than Famicom? I don't think there's anything older than that. Let's see. Yeah, Famicom and Nintendo Entertainment System. So Famicom came out on first, obviously, in '86.
Yeah. And
Um,
then the NES after that, right?
right. But I mean, the Famicom is just it's just the Japanese NES. They made a new looking one for us. Uh,
I thought the NES came out like just afterwards.
that was their
They
first one.
they, they came out the first at the same time.
Oh well, no, but it's the same system. It was the same internals. It was just our
Yeah.
cartridges looked different, and the whole console was different, but they had the same games on it. Same two buttons and a D-pad. But yeah, that they're that old, and then 10 years later, Pokemon came out on the original Game Boy after it had been out for a bit. And both of those are gonna get. It's gonna be big, but I just think that they're still in Mario. They don't want you to. They still need to market Super Mario 3D World. Just came out. Everybody go buy it. We can't get you excited about something else yet. So here's, but we are making a new. We're not just gonna port the Wii U games. We're gonna make a new HD port. So here you go, Skyward Sword, with button controls, which I'm pumped about. That game just had Ooh, I got a pair of these on pre-order too.
Those things
Of
look
the
sweet.
Joy-Cons.
Those things look sweet, man.
And they are selling out immediately every time they pre-order. It's crazy, but um, I like that game a lot. I hope that more people get to experience it because a lot of people kind of wrote it off. They needed the Wii Motion Plus to play it back in the day. Not everybody got that. Um,
I thought it looked good though. I thought it played super sweet with the motion controls. I thought it
yeah,
was
I enjoyed it. And I think it's a really cool game. It tells the origins of kind of all of the legends of Zelda, the origin of Ganondorf and Zelda and Link and everything. So it's a pretty cool story. It does cost $60, but so did
trash.
Twilight Princess HD, so did Wind Waker HD. That's the
Trash.
Nintendo way.
Isn't Diablo 2 coming, that remake? Maybe we should have talked about this. Isn't that coming in at $40?
I don't know.
I think it's coming out at $40.
Maybe. Yeah, they might not be able to get away with that Nintendo tax. Think about it. But
Bro,
yeah, and a lot
Nintendo
of people were angry about that too. But I'm just like, what did you expect them to do, man? They're not
Nintendo is
gonna.
arguably, I think they're arguably the most anti-consumer company ever.
They just well, I think
And they just get away with it,
their
bro. Like
head
it's
is the furthest up their behinds, and that they do not care, man. They're like this. According to all the other things we've released before, this is a $60 game. I don't even care because it was a $60 game when it came out on Wii. Actually, it probably wasn't. It's probably $50, but it's a full game. Therefore, to them, it costs $60. I don't care if it was made. They don't care if it was made in late 2000 or early 2010s. $60 game, full price game is a full price game. They're gonna charge for it. So I wholly expected it to be $60 as soon as they showed it, but
that's so ridiculous. So
so
ridiculous.
so the price is there. It is what it is. But I think that we will get. There's going to be a Zelda 35th anniversary kind of event. I think that they will port the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD, and hopefully some more. I would love to see the 3DS Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remakes ported. We'll see if they'll do that. And then Pokemon is probably gonna have a new game announcement this year, maybe a sequel to those Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Pikachu games. They're due for an announcement this year, so Pokemon Snap 2 plus
The
some
gift that keeps on giving.
yeah some not main game probably this year. So I think that will be the tail end of 2021. We'll see that stuff, but
It's still amazing me that they're the number one company in Japan.
yeah, man, this Switch is
That
just
is
so
that
pop.
is
It's so successful.
it's just it's still ridiculous. Like they sold what 100 million of them.
Something like that. You can't find
Okay,
them.
okay. They
You
sold
still can't
100
buy
million
them.
switches, right? I still, I guess that's what happens when you sell everything at a profit.
Yeah,
Everything sold at a profit. And when you sell everything at a profit, you can be number one company in your country when you're competing with, I don't know, Sony.
and they refuse
Sony
to.
owns movie studios. They own music. They got music. They sell entertainment items, like they sell game systems, and they're worth less than Nintendo.
Right. Yeah, and they refuse to lower the value of their games too. It's part of it because all the casual people too pick it up and they go, "Well, what do I got to get? I got to get Mario Kart." It's
Got
it's
to.
it's a ported
It's a
version
must.
of the Wii U Mario Kart. It's like 10
Got
years old
gotta
now.
get it.
Got to
Gotta
get
get
it.
it.
$60, I'll pay for it. They'll pay for it. Like, and that's a lot of profit, and that's part of the reason why I think that they don't do budget pricing very much. And if they do, it's a part of like a player's choice series of re-releases after a game has stopped selling. But
Well, you know something? I'll give them this. Since Sony's upped the price to $70 for games, which
did they
I
officially
don't
do
agree
that?
with.
Is are
Yes,
the
Sony's
few
first party games are $70.
are other people doing that too? Was Godfall $70?
I don't think that was. I know they've just announced like, hey, $70. That's gonna be the new thing. So when God of War comes out, it's gonna be $70.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I guess Nintendo's sticking to 60, but yeah.
Well, it kind of increases the value of their games by mistake
Mm-hmm.
because Sony's charging 70.
Right.
And for me, we've talked about this. I think if they turn PSN now, well, PS Now into like what Game Pass is, they they destroy
Mm-hmm.
because the belief in their first party titles are so high that if you told people, hey, you can even pay $70 for this thing, you can pay $10 a month, even though it's cheaper to
Right.
pay $70. People are like, well, I'm gonna buy any Sony first party game, and it's two of them a year, so yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
makes sense.
it's like once we hit that once the streaming though becomes in most people's eyes as good enough compared to the real full deal experience, that's when it's going to happen. Is they're going to go, well, you could pay $70 for every title, or you could just pay this subscription fee and buy a year of it and stay on it and keep playing it and keep enjoying it and keep giving us that subscription money. That'll happen eventually, but
Yeah, it will happen eventually. But
well,
I'm just wondering if Nintendo will end up doing the same thing because I think they'd also kill if they figured out some type of subscription model they could get people to pay where they wouldn't have to buy the same
they'll
games over and over and over and over and over.
they'll
But
do it. They'll do it 5 years after everyone else finally does it, because that's how they roll.
that's true.
um,
Okay.
well, yeah, the last thing that they did on there was Splatoon 3, which that's cool. I might actually pick it up because I feel like they were just running with the first Splatoon game and kind of just adding stuff to it perpetually. And now they're
I
actually
didn't even
making
know I didn't even know it was a Splatoon 2. I ain't gonna lie to
yeah,
you.
there was one, and I feel like, but it was like the first one had like no single player content almost, and the second one had some, but it was like it's a multiplayer game, but with like a crappy story with a bunch of trials and type of stuff. So hopefully the third
Oh,
one,
it was one of those single player games?
yeah,
One that
it was
didn't
still
really have real
mostly
single player?
yeah, it was mostly a multiplayer game. So hopefully 3 uh is cooler. But it's not coming out until they said 2022, so we'll see next year. Um,
Actually, we're not even in the chat right now. Justin is always in the chat, and we just never he just sits there commenting, and we never talk to him.
I got it.
Is he there? Is Jay there?
I do got
Just in
it
case.
open. No, but you know what? I will say. I will message him right quick.
Because last time he was in the chat, and we just like let him just talk to himself. Um,
Yeah, no. I do have it open. Well, as a quick get this out of the way. I just had some interesting notes. This past week, I believe EA announced that they're going to acquire. Well, I think they bought like a majority stake in Codemasters, makers of what do they make? I wrote it down here. F1 Racing, Dirt.
Codemasters?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dirt
they
Rally,
make all
Grid.
the current racing games.
Hmm.
All the current racing games.
So
So EA is Racing Game Central now.
yeah,
They got
because
all the racing games.
they had about 10 years ago bought Criterion, people who made Burnout.
I
Um,
am actually still made that they purchased
yeah,
Criterion.
and then yeah, made them make other games that aren't Burnout. But they have the B teams that would make Need for Speed, and then they had Criterion. I don't know why these companies do this. It's like the Tony Hawk thing again. They buy Criterion, they let them make Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted, highly reviewed, very successful, and then they go, we need your help on Battlefield and these Star Wars games though. So can y'all just like help these other teams? And then that's what Criterion did for like the last 6 years. Um, but they did announce
Even
like
though they made one of the best racing games of all time,
yeah,
they is very appreciated. They made Burnout Paradise is literally one of the greatest racing games of all time, and nobody cares.
yeah, and uh, and then the weird thing is that like maybe they could have put them back onto Burnout, but instead they just announced that they're coming back for Need for Speed, which is weird to me because now it's like, okay, well, you got Codemasters. Where do they? Maybe they're just gonna make the same games, but I don't know what their angle is there. I don't know if they're gonna help other people make games or if they're gonna keep making their games or if they're gonna make new games. We'll see. Um, it's kind of a weird situation, but yeah, they're eating up all the racing people.
I mean, well, EA racing is a sport, right? So it just kind of goes more into their whole sports
Yeah, and they did make
thing.
the F1 games, which was licensed, I believe, fully licensed title. So maybe the EA can get a little bit more, throw some of their official licensing power behind that one.
Shout out to Lewis Hamilton. But nah, it's just interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you, Aaron. Uh, nobody cares. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Hey man, nobody cares. No, but hey man, hey, what's that clip of Stephen A. Smith that everybody uses for the meme? Like, it's like,
Oh, there's a
yeah,
lot.
he said, yeah, he's like, look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? It's so funny. But
You'll be hearing
yeah, it's
about
just
it though
yeah, bro. But
when they announce what they're actually gonna do.
like racing games have become another console war dominated thing now, where everybody's either GT or Ford, GT or Forza, and everything else just kind of happens, whatever. Like, and
Do GT fans still exist? Does that game still exist? I feel like that game
it
always.
it it, it does, but GT fans are kind of in denial now. Like, people know Forza is like the king of racing.
Yeah, well, Forza releases
Like,
games too.
yeah, it's the king of racing. Like they've done both genres.
Hmm.
They mastered the simulation and they've mastered the arcade racer. So now they have
Right.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
you can
so
take your
it's
pick
like,
and play a great game.
yeah, it doesn't matter. So the Forza team, Turn 10 is like godlike now. They're a god tier um, you know, design team, and it's nothing you can do with them. Like it's
They did
probably the
open
best team
world too. They were
Microsoft
like,
has.
"Y'all missed that Burnout Paradise? Here you
Yeah,
go.
we
Here's a
got
new
you.
game."
We got you. Just better with real cars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just, it is what it is. It's they're, racing games have pretty much become console war battlegrounds. And the genre's not what it used to be.
Yeah. Well,
Um
luckily
and
we'll
it's
get no
unfortunate.
more Need for Speed Heat or Rivals with weird story mode with pseudo realistic cutscenes shot for it. I think that that's going to be done for. Hopefully we'll see. Well, exciting news. People do
Okay,
care
come with
about
it. Come on with it. Let's go.
was we had just talked about Mortal Kombat trailers, and then
Hey.
they dropped a new, much bigger one, which I will open up by saying, just real quick disclaimer: Cole Young is played by a British Asian actor. He's not a white guy. All I remember
Like we
was
thought he was.
all I
So we have
remembered.
to
Yeah.
we have to renege on that.
Yeah.
What was that episode 4? We was going in on this just
Yep.
being a random white dude.
Yep.
And then we look at him. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I still look at him and I'm just like, eh. But I get it. They did pick an Asian actor. We can't hate. Take the hate out.
Right. And to me, the reason why I had that that impression was because it was like a mixed martial artist. So to me, I'm just like, oh great, it's gonna be a UFC guy. But it is at least an Asian actor. But we'll see.
And apparently he's a failed MMA fighter in the film.
Mm.
So he's not a good MMA guy fighter. Like he has a failed career. And he has like some branding birthmark tattoo that looks like the Mortal Kombat symbol.
Yeah,
which
the
means
the story
they
goes that
chose-
if you have that marking, you're selected for the tournament or whatever. But trailer
Why
looks-
does Jack's arms always get froze off by Sub-Zero? Like why?
well, they gotta tell a little bit of origin story.
And how do you fight Sub-Zero ever and not just get frozen?
Right. Yeah, and not be Scorpion. Everyone else, I don't know how you win, but it's
Oh,
weird
yeah.
that they open it up with the Cole Young stuff, and then I feel like about 30 seconds later, you just never see him again the whole trailer. So I
Yeah.
cannot figure out how important he's gonna be to this movie, but
And that picture is of the Great Kung Lao for people who don't know.
that wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the Great
it's like a picture of the people that I spotted in it. It's got Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Sonya Blade, Kano, Liu Kang, Jax, Kung Lao, Raiden, Mylena, Shao Kahn, Goro, Shang Tsung. Hopefully the weird dinosaur thing that you can very quickly see someone killing.
Reptile.
Hopefully that's not
Reptile.
reptile, but we'll
It
see.
is. It's Reptile.
But because it looked like all the fatalities that they show at the end, it was nobody's getting killed, because I don't think that they're gonna willy-nilly just murder the main characters. This guy they got playing Liu Kang looks so good.
Woo! Melina is hot, bro. Good God. Licking the blood off the side.
Yeah, dude, she looks great. I'm really the actress they chose for her looks so
She
awesome.
looks amazing.
I did think that
Sub-Zero
that the get over here was a little. It wasn't
It was
delivered.
forced.
It wasn't delivered in that
forced.
way. I heard Maximilian of fighting games and things like that talking about it, and he said that no matter who they ever got to do Scorpion, they started getting like more actual Asian actors to portray him in the games and stuff. The delivery for Get Over Here was always done in the same way that original dude did it, or sometimes they would bring the original dude or use his sound clips for the move, regardless of who was voicing him. So,
I actually feel like that was trash, because I was really hoping that they would do a Japanese audio version of this film, like that the ninjas would speak in Japanese.
Yeah.
And obviously the other actors were speaking English based on what country they were from. You just get the subtitles, right? I was hoping they would do that, so then we can finally get the Japanese Get Over Here. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and I think that would have hit. I think that would have hit with the fan base. Like, oh, okay.
Honestly,
'cause
if he
he's
said that,
Japanese.
if he said it in Japanese right there, and they had the subtitle that said "Get Over Here," wouldn't have been angry at the delivery of it.
It would have been dope.
But now that I think about it,
Because I'm just sitting there like, he's obviously Japanese. Now Sub-Zero, yeah, I think Sub-Zero is too, right? So like
Mhm.
they're from Outworld though. So I don't know how the country of origin thing would work, but whatever. Whatever the Eastern country in Outworld is, whatever, the equivalent.
Mhm.
They could be speaking in another language. I think it would have hit.
Yeah, and then when they're especially, and I don't think they were speaking in Japanese, but the first trailer had them when they were younger and when they weren't Scorpion and Sub-Zero fighting. I still think that they were speaking English in that part too. So, but they could have
Yes.
been speaking Japanese when they were in that environment. I don't know.
I think it would have been dope if they would have went with like different dialects, different languages, to kind of symbolize all these fighters are from different places.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that would be
Well,
dope.
I think it looks good and it looks kind of fun. I was talking to you about it a little bit. I think that it's towing that fine line between taking itself seriously, but also not taking itself seriously in a realism way. They take the source material and they just respect it. They go, yeah, these people are shooting fire out of their hands, and guess what? They got supernatural powers. That's it. No explanation needed. They don't have some kind of genetic mutation or reason for their powers. It's just a fighter from this place, and they got supernatural. The history says that they got supernatural powers. So, and they fight, and then there you go. No need to try to turn it into something else that makes sense in movie world. So I like that they're doing that, and then yeah, they're putting all the video game stuff in. They got lots of video game moves in it. They got fatalities.
Fatalities look
Um,
awesome. I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie to you.
which they're still not anywhere. I doubt they will not be as gruesome as the ones in the game, but otherwise you couldn't even get an R rating with that. But
You don't think anybody's spine is gonna get ripped from their body and held and then frozen and crushed?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how far you can go. They'll
You don't
go
think
as far
somebody's
as they can
gonna
go.
plunge their hand in somebody's chest and then pull out a beating heart?
I think maybe they'll shove their hand into someone's chest and squeeze. I don't know about rip it out. And, but they'll take it as far as they can without an NC-17 rating, I'm sure. But and then they had the little bit of elements of the old Mortal Kombat movie theme where we're flowing through the cinematic theme towards the end of the trailer, which is kind of cool. We'll see. I feel like they got to have one or two fights with just the straight up techno soundtrack, but we'll see what happens.
You talking about the Mortal Kombat song?
Yeah, I think they got to
Dun,
have
dun, 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 dun. I don't think they're gonna do it.
they got to work in one fight where it's just got techno music. Maybe not one of the main ones, but
I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't.
we'll see.
So look, okay.
April 16th, HBO Max.
April 16th, baby. Hey, they not paying us yet, man. We ain't about to just keep throwing out HBO Max like that. So look, all right, while we're on movies, before we move to this last thing that is terrible, we're talking about HBO Max. Watch Judas and the Black Messiah. What did you think?
Yes.
What is your opinions? How did the film affect you? Did you learn anything that you didn't know?
Oh yeah. I think the craziest thing to me was just I'm always interested in seeing community and how when you look at things from a community level, it's so blatantly obvious how not evil it is. But man, people were just so out to get them and to stop them, and it's also weird in seeing how it's the same stuff that's still happening to this day, where you find one reason to paint them as bad guys and then you go with it and you dismiss everything about the entire thing. So the acting performances were excellent.
I feel like that was like the highlight of the film.
Yeah,
Lakeith Stanford,
he's
Blue. Like, look, man,
has he won any
he hasn't, but he's about to.
'cause
Okay,
he was great.
So Daniel, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you've ever heard a Fred Hampton speech before.
Mm-hmm.
Literally verbatim. Like, it's like he studied, like sounded like him, had the same mannerisms. He killed it.
And
Killed it.
that's way beyond like somebody just having an accent. I mean, he was like
he killed it.
became that character.
but Lakeith, like in those scenes where you could see like the visible nervousness and the fear and like how you can read somebody's face and just be like, man, this dude feels really uneasy about what he's about to do. Like he just had it like completely. And you could tell that he needed some type of therapy after that film.
Yeah, I mean there were scenes where it was obvious, and there were scenes where it was way more subtle, and I feel like you could even pick it up in the scenes that were more subtle, like when he was just in a room and everyone's talking about something and they ask him something where it's obvious like, well, he's gonna have to lie about this. You could just still tell that he was that like that shitty con artist, like the guy that was still trying to do stuff, but he was like he got trapped into having to do something way bigger than he'd ever done before, and just had to BS his way for years. I mean, and he played all the subtleties of that all the time. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Yeah, you talking about that scene where he's talking about how he would beat the dude up if he found the dude snitching, and he
yeah,
was just
stuff
going
like
way
that.
over the top, with the things he would do to the guy. And I'm like, nobody's picking up on like the obvious over exaggeration that this dude is using for
Right.
anything. It was just funny, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was amazing film. Everyone should see it. Yeah, I guess that's HBO Max, isn't it? Yeah. That's one that would have
Hey,
been in the movies
bro,
or
look,
in the theaters.
and they coming with the heat. Like, look, bro, let me tell you something. If you still got a Netflix subscription after 2021, man, look, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, it's HBO Max coming with the heat, man. They like, look, all right, they coming out with Oscar level films. They about to come out with blockbuster films.
Yeah,
They
man.
about to come out with comic book films. They like, hey, man, we got it all. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Even some of the shows. I told you I watched Warriors on there, and I was like, wow, Warriors is awesome. Everybody should watch Warriors.
Dude, is that a HBO original?
Yeah, it was on Cinemax. You
Mm.
know, they own Cinemax. I think that might be where the HBO Max comes from. Don't quote me, but maybe that's where the Max part comes
Yeah, I don't
from
know.
the Cinemax acquisition.
All I know is that their originals are they. I mean, there's less of them, and they all blow every other original from every other average original from every other service, like just out of the water. They're always you
Bro,
can just pick a
bro,
random show.
they got the wire on there, bro. They got the
Yeah,
wire on there, and
that
you
show's
don't
great.
have to own the DVDs. You can watch the wire right now. The
Yeah,
great, which to me is still the best show ever. It is the best original show ever to me.
that's how I know
Um,
every person in that whole show. And then I see them.
bro, they all blew up.
Wasn't wasn't Michael B. Jordan in that?
Yes, he was a kid.
He was the kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Idris Elba was in it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. It was some stars in there. Stars.
Yeah. So, um, am I coming out of your speakers again?
Are you?
I don't know.
You
I
hear
feel like
yourself?
I've been. I could have just maybe I turned your sensitivity down a little bit too much too, but it's probably my
You
fault.
want me to check? You want me to take these headphones off and check? All right, hold on. I'll do it for you. Hold on.
You hear me? Hello, hello.
Only through the headphones, man. Come on, man.
Okay.
Grow up.
I think I just
So,
I had you lower your sensitivity too low. That's my
yeah, come on, man. Grow up.
bad.
So, all right. So, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Glad you saw the film. Did you and your girl watch it, or did you just watch it?
No, yeah, I mean the lady watched it.
Okay. Now, we'll talk about that later. We gotta talk about that because I also watched it with someone else, and there was a lot of conversation about, like, it just lets me know that there's no history that covers like the Panthers for
Hmm.
real. And
Oh yeah, we were on the phones after that. We were looking up all kinds of stuff.
and this person was like amazed that Fred and those guys were 21. They were like, what, 21 years old? Like, well, yeah, like had to grow up fast back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
You ain't had no choice.
Been going through it.
They didn't have a choice. It's and that was like that was a few years after Martin Luther King died. So
Yeah,
it
which
was
they
just
kept
like,
bringing up, and then which that would happen. That would be a kind of a common subject that keeps getting brought up around that time. And they were, I
and
mean,
then
they were doing the same thing as well. That they're doing still with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
yeah,
Would he have done this or said that or whatever?
I mean,
And they
and then the
addressed it in
answer
the
was
movie.
always the answer was always, well, he's dead now, huh? So I guess it's not like a you know, and
They
and saying it, obviously, we're laughing about it, but it's like it's comical that somebody would ask you that question knowing what people did to him.
right.
That's what's funny.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, like, well, would he? I don't know. Let's ask him.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
but oh, sorry, we
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, that
You
film
know,
knocked the response to that out of the park.
yeah, it's the only response you can give. Like, come on, man, don't ask me that stupidish.
Yeah.
So, okay, now let's talk about something that's piss poor. Okay, I want your thoughts on BlizzCon. Okay,
So, I will admit that I did not watch the because they made you go to another channel to watch any of the Overwatch 2 stuff. But I was in the chat trolling the whole time because I was just going, okay, what do we got here? We're gonna have you know, they talking about World of Warcraft Classic. Great. What's the next big World of Warcraft Classic announcement? The Burning Crusade. I'm like, all right, you're trying to hype this up big time because we're like reliving the history of WoW. I don't. This already came out. I've seen this trailer before. All right, cool. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I'm like, is this gonna keep happening? Is is World of Warcraft Classic gonna advance 10 years and then they're gonna start a new World of Warcraft Classic from the beginning again? Like, when does this end? Um, and then they announced the same thing with what is it called? Hearthstone. They
mm-hmm.
said, guess what? We got Hearthstone. I forget what they called it. It wasn't classic, but it was like you can play it with all the original decks, with all the original rules, just like when it first came out. I'm like, what? What's next? Gonna have Overwatch Classic, only the original characters, and the original maps with the original balance. Like, geez, oh Pete. And then they did all that just to lead to the only thing that they showed was a new Diablo 4 class and then Diablo 2 remastered, which looks cool, but apparently they screwed up that Warcraft 3 remaster pretty heavy. We'll see what they do with the Diablo 2 one, but
We both know what they're gonna do with Diablo 2. Blizzard is not Blizzard anymore, and people have to accept the fact that they're not.
yeah,
Blizzard is Activision, and I believe they have become, they're not the company people just loved anymore.
right.
Blizzard used to be like untouchable. It used to be like a fans haven type of developer, but I
Hmm.
don't know, man. Hardcore Blizzard fans are still hardcore Blizzard fans, obviously.
Right.
World of Warcraft printed money. Remember at one point it had like 13 million players or something like that. I
It
think it
had like
still have.
15 million, and they were paying $15 a month.
I think they still have over 6.
Yeah.
I think it's still 6 million players on World of Warcraft.
I honestly think that is when they stopped being Blizzard a bit. They kept going on that, but I think that game became such a massive, enormous moneymaker that they were like, we got to make massive, enormous amounts of money on our games. Even StarCraft 2, they pushed that for quite a while, and then they're kind of just ditched it. And like, it doesn't make enough money, so who cares? We don't need a new Warcraft game. Nobody's gonna play it. We need Overwatch. We need Hearthstone. We need uh, uh. Did they get their own Dota game? Oh, kind of. It didn't do too well. Heroes of the Storm or whatever. But they chase all of the super big PC global mega hits. And I almost feel like that's not even Activision's fault. I think that they make the money now. I mean, Activision just makes Call of Duty. That's all they do, which is a big
Call
money
of Duty
maker.
makes more money. Call of Duty makes more money than everything on in the. I think they made how much money? It made like over a bill, and I'm trying to remember the time frame. It was ridiculous. Like it made like over $1 billion in like the shortest time frame you could ever think of.
Wasn't that Modern Warfare? Was that Modern Warfare the latest Modern Warfare launch? Um, 'Cause I figured I think I thought that it sold. Okay, that's in under a year.
I
30,
think,
30
and,
million in under a year.
and I know that they got 140 million players on Warzone.
Um,
I
they did. Modern Warfare did 600 million in 3 days
That's ridiculous.
when it came out.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
Ridiculous.
but I don't know. When you add up all of the evergreen Blizzard stuff, I wonder just how much money they make because Overwatch makes big money.
No, huge money. And to me, it's crazy because it's a hero shooter, right?
Mhm.
And and that's like a new genre or whatever, right? Like Rainbow Six Siege has turned into a hero shooter officially. like it's transitioned to a hero shooter. So you got Apex Legends, hero shooter. You got
Yeah, they made it.
obviously
Everyone copied it immediately.
Apex Legends, killing
Hmm.
it, killing the game. And obviously Halo is about to become sort of like it, and it kind of makes me sick to my stomach. But um, they be kind of silly not to make Halo like a hero shooter. Like they have too many characters not to do it.
Yeah. We'll see what the free to play mode. If they do end up doing kind of a Warzone type thing with, there will be different skins and different things and characters that you'll be able to play as for sure. But it's hard to tell. But I don't know. I'm just like, it's just weird to me that Activision. It seems like they're just, it is the same company, Activision Blizzard, and it seems like it's just Call of Duty Blizzard now. Activision doesn't do anything. They're putting out
Yeah,
Crash
call it.
Bandicoot 4, and then who knows?
Well, they don't have to because they got Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's just crazy. They used to do so much more, and now they're just like,
But they didn't used to make all the movie games.
yeah, did all that. They had I
What
don't
else they
know.
make?
They were, and the other annoying thing is that they acquired a lot of people and then just dumped them or
Or
absorbed them into Call of Duty.
absorb them into Call of Duty. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like they don't have to do anything except that. And then if that well ever dries up, who knows what they would even do? They don't have any IP to work with or that anyone cares about that much. It's just Call of Duty, which that it won't go away anytime soon. But um, we'll see. I don't know. And yeah, BlizzCon, it's like they were like Overwatch 2, we're gonna do it, and I think that they were like, somebody with the money looked at Overwatch 2, and they went, "So what are you gonna do? You're gonna fracture the player base? Mm-mm. You're not gonna do that." And now I don't know. Did you? So you said that you watched the Overwatch 2 behind the scenes development thing that they put out?
Yeah, I watched it, and I liked that they were gonna do the single player campaign. I think that's cool.
It looked like it's single player and co-op stuff, but it doesn't affect the multiplayer. It sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're gonna do that. But beyond the single player stuff, I don't know. It just seemed kind of like, whatever. People are gonna buy it. It's gonna be really popular. Like I said, Blizzard is like the PC. Blizzard and CD Projekt Red were like the PC Sony Santa Monica's, and like version of that, where like whatever they make, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be big. People are gonna love it. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah,
And that's all it's ever gonna be. Like, so people just gotta understand that's just what it's gonna be.
and they're gonna spend more than $60 because it's gonna be designed to keep taking your money.
Yes.
Diablo 4 auction house. It's all about that economy that they make because they are pocketing all that money, all those fees. But yeah, um, so that was BlizzCon. Um, not too much else that I think that we ran into. This Ninja, I know you like Ninja Gaiden collection, Ninja Gaiden
Look, man.
Sigma collect. What do they even call it?
Okay. It's
Legacy
called like
collection, something.
Ninja Gaiden Master Collection because I just Google it and make sure I'm right, but I think it's called the
It's
Master
Master
Collection.
Collection. Yep. And
And that's because
the first result is why fans are unhappy.
yeah. Um so the okay. If you know me, you know I'm a huge Ninja Gaiden fan. I actually have a very high rank in like the karma scores.
Mhm.
So I played a lot of Ninja Gaiden, and it's it's two different games, man. And the one that they're remaking is not the definitive version of Ninja Gaiden for the fan base.
Yep. Sigma 1
And
and 2.
yeah, the Sigma games, like I always call them trash, but they're not bad games. Okay, they're just not Itagaki Ninja Gaiden games.
Mhm.
And for the fan base, Itagaki had this vision of what he wanted the games to be, the difficulty he wanted them to present, and the identity he wanted the games to have. And the Sigma series pretty much stripped that down to become more technically sound performing games. So when I say that, it sounds like bad. Like, well, why wouldn't you want it to be perform better? Well, we play a lot of games that perform like that are trash. Like, if you think about it in the scope of games, there are some cult classic games that don't necessarily play the best, but people love. You know,
Well, and yeah, and then if
might not be the best.
yeah, like if the reason that you love it is causing some of the performance issues, well, you don't change the reason why you love it. You change something else to you got to keep what people like, but find the performance elsewhere.
You figure out a way to make it perform better. So the Sigma games ended up becoming more bloated because they added missions from other characters, like to kind of flesh out the story. But it was just like nobody wants to play as those characters. We want to play as this super ninja. Like stop it. Nobody wants to play as those characters.
Yeah, and did anyone ask for that?
No, nobody actually. No, nobody. And I'm not gonna go in on Sigma like that, but the fan base is split, just obviously because these aren't the definitive Ninja Gaiden games that they're remastering.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been the hopes. The hopes would have been that they remastered Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2 Vanilla, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Those are the three titles that if they would have remastered the series, nobody would have been unhappy. Because the Sigma players say they've never played any of those games, they would have been playing a brand new game.
Mm-hmm. But interesting.
And the fan base, the original fan base, understands that the Ninja Gaiden Black and Ninja Gaiden 2 qualify as two of the greatest action games of all time. So it's that's why people are just unhappy, man. So it's nothing to really speak on beyond that. Just if you're a Ninja Gaiden fan, you kind of probably split on this, especially because if you own an Xbox, you realistically don't have a reason to buy this collection because they've already enhanced Ninja Gaiden Black and Ninja Gaiden 2, so they both are running at 60 frames a second with upgraded resolution, upgraded visuals, and they run flawlessly. So you literally have no reason to go buy this collection. You were hoping that you would get the collection and it would be like new graphics, or they would say, "Oh, we're gonna take the first two games and remake them completely so they're up to date graphically."
Right. Or maybe add some
That
new
that would
things
have
to
been
do or
yeah, that would have been the move.
Yep.
But
Nope.
if you
It's
want, go get Ninja Gaiden 2, bro. Just play that.
yeah, it's just a repackage. Take the two games, get them to work on different platforms, which they already did because they came from Xbox and went to PlayStation 3. If you got it to work on PS3, then it can work on anything.
Yep, word to
And
the cell. Right?
yeah, and it's weird that it just. I was almost like, well, maybe he's gonna be in Smash Bros, but nope. I'm like, what? I'm like, where did this come from? I don't know. I guess Tecmo just wanted to make some money real quick. I don't know.
I feel like they're putting their toe in the water.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Just see if they can make Ninja Gaiden 4. So depending on how this game does, they said like, oh, okay, cool, people want it, we'll make Ninja Gaiden 4.
Mm-hmm.
But without Itagaki, it's not Ninja Gaiden.
It's like they got to get like, they need to do what Final Fantasy 16 did. They got to poach somebody. They got to poach an action person.
They do. They can go to Platinum and just take whoever.
Or just give it to Platinum. Just license it to Platinum. Platinum Games presents Ninja Gaiden 4. People will go lose their minds.
People would. And we would trust them to make it.
Right.
Because they made what I consider the new greatest action game of all time, which is Bayonetta. I think Bayonetta is better than Ninja Gaiden because it fixed the camera system. Ninja Gaiden's biggest flaw was the camera system.
Mm-hmm.
And like with Devil May Cry, the issue Devil May Cry has is Like, put it like this: how does Devil May Cry not have dismemberment?
Oh.
You're swinging giant swords. How does it not have dismemberment?
Yeah. I think they just skirted the performance. They didn't want to even get into the performance aspect of it. They've always just been pushing the traditional graphics as far as they can go. Especially with 5.
I mean, that new one with that ray tracing though. Ooh.
Yeah,
That ray
high
tracing.
frame rate too.
Yep.
I'm glad I waited on that one. I can't wait to play that actually.
I think I might actually buy the new version. Maybe I'll buy that for the PlayStation. Like I'll probably buy that for the PlayStation. Like,
Yeah.
I've always considered Devil May Cry like really a PlayStation thing.
Yeah, it's like I could get it on my computer, but gotta play it on the console. I don't know. That's where I played 1 through 3 and
I think
4.
I would get a PlayStation. Yeah, I think that's the place to go. But yeah, man, not gonna go too hard on Ninja Gaiden. Me and you had a really big conversation on that, and just it's unfortunate that they didn't pick the definitive versions of the game.
Right.
So
It's
what it is.
Well, anything coming up? I don't know what's going on. Something coming out this Friday. I feel like something's always coming out on Fridays these days, but other than WandaVision, I don't really know what to look forward to.
Man, there's nothing coming up, man. It's just look, it's okay, man. We actually had a podcast episode that didn't go a million hours. You know, we got to the point. Oh, there's the outro music. But yo, man, it was cool, man. You know, getting to catch up, man.
Yes, and that's what we should do because we are at only a little over an hour. And there you go. There's a nice little wrapped up. We recapped the news of the last couple weeks, so maybe it'll take another couple weeks for there to be some stuff to talk about, and then we'll be back.
Okay, man. Well, look, thank you guys for tuning in. You know, me and Aaron, like, you know, we love doing this, man, because this, you know, this is our time to vent about the things that we like to talk about and get people involved, right? So, again, it's Chris McCloud. Got my boy Aaron, aka Young Nintendo Direct. You know, and you got to say it together, man. Come on, man. You got to say it, man.
Oh man, it's about that time to drop the gate.
Come on, drop the gate. Gotta drop the gate.
All right, yeah, hit it. Hit us up too. Follow us. We're on Twitter, Facebook. Follow us on Twitch. You can watch us on any of those platforms and YouTube. This episode will be up probably tomorrow on YouTube, edited, cut up nicely. And we'll see you next time. Yes. Peace.